everyone. I am with the CMA, the Capital Markets Authority representative, Abubakar Hassan. He's Director of Market Operations, actually Market Oversight.
Indeed.
Is it Market Oversight?
Yes, Oversight.
Yes, and there's one question I have that I want us to sort of just get an answer. I remember, being a financial advisor and with the drama we've seen around several products that have been, issued. Was how can an institution have two products, one unregulated and one regulated, and the CMA doesn't clamp down on the unregulated one, and then I've not gotten my money back, and how do I get my money back? What's my recourse? So the first question I have is, how is it that you can have one institution that offers an unregulated product that is not under the oversight of the authority, and on the other hand, have a regulated product that they're selling? Because my issue with that is this. When I look at the name or the brand that is selling a regulated product, I automatically assume that it's not just that product that is regulated, but the entire institution that is licensed. And therefore, whatever this institution puts out, I can trust and I can invest in, and I should be good to go. So how is it that you can have one institution that has an unregulated product and a regulated one, and they coexist and they sell actively in the market?
Okay, thank you, Rina. That's a valid question. First, let people understand what do you mean by being regulated first.
Yeah.
When a company or a product is regulated.
Okay.
When someone or a product is regulated, that means it has to be, that activity is a controlled activity. It needs to operate within a specified boundaries and with certain standards, okay? Anchored in law, so that means that's regulated. Unregulated, that means it's not a controlled activity. But doesn't mean unregulated activity is illegal or fraudulent, okay? For example, right now, there is digital money lending. That's a product. Mm-hmm. It's unregulated, yeah? It's not illegal. People have not been clamped down. Yeah, they have not been taken to court. But now, government is coming up with the regulation to regulate it. So being unregulated does not mean it's illegal or fraudulent. It's only that when an entity or a product is regulated, in an investment, there's risk return. Yeah, the risk is fundamentally reduced when a product is regulated, and when it is not regulated, the risk is high. Okay.
Yeah.
Two, when a product is regulated, that product is subject to public enforcement. There's a watchdog, to enforce your rights. If there's a dispute, there's a dispute resolution mechanism. You can go to the regulator and say this, and the regulator is like the investor's advocate. Under the unregulated space, if there's a dispute, that means it is subject to market discipline and private enforcement, because that's a contractual obligation, okay? So the product is not subject to regulatory scrutiny, or regulatory oversight, and if there's a dispute, it's not subject to public enforcement, it's subject to private enforcement. So let's come to your question. You're saying, how can a regulator allow one entity to issue regulated and unregulated? That's impossible. The one entity cannot issue, a licensed entity, issue a regulated and unregulated product. Okay. What is happening there, those are two different entities.
I see.
One entity is issuing, a licensed entity issuing a regulated product, and then there's an unlicensed entity issuing unregulated product. These two entities, they have the same brand. For example, we can say we have Barclays Bank. There's Barclays Central, Barclays Bank, Barclays Financial Services, Barclays maybe insurance, or maybe all that aspect. It's still Barclays, but there's a part of this bank, insurance, and maybe, I don't know, I've heard about other institutions, they also have something properties. I think Britam has Britam Properties, Britam Insurance. That property wing is not regulated, right? So a brand to have unregulated business, it's not, what you're saying, of course it's confusing if there are no proper Chinese walls or the Chinese walls are not effective, and now we need to do something. But on the face of it, so long as the investors know this is regulated and this is not regulated, it is, as I've said earlier, it's for the investor to make an informed decision. this is not regulated, very risky, the risk is not reduced. If there's a dispute, it is subject to private enforcement. This is regulated. If there's a dispute, I'll just call CMA. CMA has an investigation function where there's a dispute resolution mechanism. You go there, the CMA will be the investor's advocate and will make sure you access your remedies easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love what you've said, because we need a market that also enables companies or institutions to raise money in an unregulated environment, because otherwise then we'll be crippled and we'll not be able to grow. For example, I'm a startup, right? And I want to raise capital for my business. Perhaps it's working capital. I need to borrow money through debt. And I can get 20 of my friends to give me money. And I raise my money, I do what I need to do, and I give them money back.
Yeah.
So that also is, I have the ability to raise money from the market without having to go through a whole regulatory process, which makes it expensive.
Yes.
But the issue here is awareness.
True.
The other thing, though, is so that's called a private offer, right?
Yes, whatever you're saying.
And perhaps maybe what we can do now is just help people understand what a private offer is and what does it look like, so that they're able to see, oh, okay, that's a private offer. Let me not go there because I'm risk averse. I don't want to take too much risk. I want to go for the least risk opportunity. And so let me not go there. I want to go to this other one. So can we just help me distinguish between a private offer and a public offer, where a private offer is unregulated and the public offer is regulated by the authority? Okay,
good. That's a good question. So when an entity wants to raise capital, once you offer your securities to the market, you can either do it through a public offer or you can do it through a private offer. So what is the distinction between the two? When you do it through a public offer, your offer is by a way of advertisement. You going to the public, you don't know these people, you're going to the public, you're saying, I want to raise money from you. And as I had said before, this under disclosure-based approach, this is me, this is my financial position, I need this money to do the following project. If I get money from this, we'll all share the profit, blah, blah, blah. This is my financial, this is the risk of this investment. This is how I'm going to manage. Please give me your money. The investors evaluate that and they make a decision. They don't know each other.
Yes.
That's a public. And before you do that, you have to be scrutinized by the regulator to make sure you are transparent enough so that an investor can make an informed decision. Okay? So you're subject to a regulatory scrutiny. And if you lie, there are some recourse, criminal and civil sanctions. Okay? However, there's a safe harbor in our law that if people want to raise money privately, that means you do your offer by way of placement. You know your people, you have pre-selected people. I have you two, three. I'll just place my offer private. I'm not advertising to the public. I know you're my people. The law allows that under certain condition for you. You're not saying that is a private offer. You're not saying you're not protected. You're protected now, not under public enforcement. You are protected under private enforcement. So that means you need to have a contractual obligation to make sure everything goes well. If there's a dispute, you will sort it privately. If you have identified, pre-selected your investors, and then you place, your offer is placed to them, then that becomes a private offer, pre-selected. When you do your offer through advertisement, you have not pre-selected the people. You don't know the people. That becomes a public offer. So how we have interpreted the law, and people are saying the law is a bit, those people arguing that this is a private offer, public offer, they're saying that the law is the conditions under Regulation 21 of the public offer, which defines what is a private offer. What is private offer? The conditions, the conjunction is or. The word which connects the condition is or. Okay?
Okay, so what's the full?
So there are 9 conditions for private
so it's
offer.
Either or.
So according to the people who interpret the law, the people who do not, they feel that they are in the private space, not in the public space, is because their interpretation is that these conditions are disjunctive. Okay, they are on their own. If you meet any of the 9 conditions, you are a private offer.
And is that correct?
That is not our interpretation. Our interpretation holistically is that you need, if you are pre-selected, if you have to pre-select your investors, that means that one of the conditions there is that the maximum is 100.
Yeah.
So if you pre-select, what means
then I'll say maximum is 100,000, but they can sell to more than 100 people.
But yes. No, maximum is 100. For if you surpass 100, you become a public offer.
Or you're saying 100 people.
100 people.
But then there's also one requirement for 100,000.
Yes. So people, since those conditions are disjunctive.
So now I'm not a lawyer. So disjunctive
means they operate on their own.
Which means that
it is not and. For example, the following condition, you don't have to meet all of them.
You don't have to meet all of them.
Or.
I didn't know that.
The law says or. Okay, so someone just picks the condition where it says the minimum has to be 100,000. So he picks that 100,000 and says that's a private offer.
And is that okay?
It's not, as far as the regulator is concerned. But now it's an argument which now it's before court. So this the court will decide.
Wow.
Our position is that if a private offer, you have to start with pre-selected investors, then the condition of maximum number of 100 is that one is given. The maximum number of people you need is 100 before even you go to other conditions. Okay, but then people just pick like you can meet any condition because how the law has been crafted is with the conjunction or, not and. Okay. And it's very difficult to meet all the 9 conditions.
It is, yeah.
So you must meet at least most of the 9 conditions.